The heresy of learning without permission. Have you ever noticed how the room changes when a person walks in who isn't draped in badges, framed diplomas, or a borrowed authority? No official crest on their chest. No letters trailing their name like a parade. Just a calm presence that says, "I learned this myself." Watch closely, systems tremble at that sentence. Not because it's loud, but because it's free. We've been taught a very specific ritual. Kneel to credentials, bow to paper thrones, ask gatekeepers to stamp your curiosity before you're allowed to use it. The message is relentless. Your mind only matters after someone else blesses it. Without the seal, you're invisible. Without the signature, you're disqualified. It's a clever spell make you doubt what's already burning inside you, so you'll pay lifelong rent to institutions for the right to think. Now here's the crack in the wall. Autodidact, self-taught men and women don't play that game. They don't beg for keys because they realize the door was never locked. They let curiosity lead without asking for a map. They're willing to get lost, to wander, to be misunderstood long enough to find paths no one else had the patience or courage to see. That alone unsettles the architecture of control. It's a silent fire creeping under the floorboards of uniformity, and power can smell smoke. And that's why the pushback arrives dressed as concern. The labels come fast: amateur, improviser, charlatan, not because the work lacks substance, but because it lacks permission. That's the strategy: mockery as a muzzle, public ridicule as pesticide. If they can't stop you from building, they'll try to poison how others look at what you've built. But let's be clear, what the system fears isn't an autodidact's ignorance. It's an autodidact's freedom. A mind that moves without asking is harder to shepherd than 1,000 well-behaved graduates waiting for instructions. And once you see that, you start to understand the design of the pushback. It's not about protecting standards. It's about protecting control. Think about how we were trained to worship the key and forget the door. A diploma is paraded as magical rhyme. This opens worlds, when most real doors respond not to certificates, but to questions. Sharp, inconvenient, sometimes impolite questions. Life opens to the stubborn, the curious, the builders who don't wait for a bell to ring before they start. The autodidact studies to understand, not to pass. They don't hoard grades, they pursue ideas. They convert learning into projects, experiments, prototypes, businesses, books, and communities. Their exam is the real world. Their grade is impact. That makes them unpredictable, and that's the real crime. Institutions prefer straight lines: syllabus, assignment, test, credential, job. Autodidacts walk in zigzags: problem, obsession, rabbit hole, messy attempts, breakthrough. The straight line rewards obedience. The zigzag produces originality. In a world trained for uniform movement, zigzags look like heresy. But follow enough zigzags and you'll find the frontier. Here's the part most people miss: solitude. The insult flung at autodidacts. He's isolated, she's off on her own, isn't a curse. It's a laboratory. It's the quiet where ideas germinate without applause. While timelines yank attention in every direction, a self-taught mind disappears into a long stretch of silence and returns carrying something real. That distance from the crowd, that space away from validation, forges thinking that doesn't need permission to stand. And yes, there's a cost. Independence unsettles people. The autodidact becomes a walking reminder of unlived potential, the proof that the official path wasn't the only path. That stings. So the group does what groups do. It defends itself. It calls you unrealistic, unserious, unsafe, not because you've broken anything, but because your existence breaks an illusion. If you can learn without the temple, what does the temple sell? Let's go deeper. The temples of credentials are built on a single dogma: only what we certify has value. Break that dogma, and the business model collapses. That's why historic memory gets sanitized. Schoolbooks and documentaries repeat a safe chorus of names, carefully curated to reinforce the myth of institutional dependence. Meanwhile, the margins of history, where self-taught tinkerers, late-night coders, rogue thinkers, and monastic creators did their work, are edited out or repackaged as the system's children after the fact. It's biography laundering. Erase the solitude, preserve the glory, and credit the temple. But the essence of an autodidact can't be edited out. It's too stubborn, It thrives on constraints, scarcity, and discomfort. Where others demand a furnished lab, the autodidact turns a cramped corner into a workshop. Where others wait for instruction, the autodidact asks better questions. Where others fear mistakes, the autodidact harvests them. That adaptability is dynamite in a world that wants domesticated minds polite, uniform, predictable. So the counterattack escalates. Not censorship with handcuffs, censorship with Snickers. No degree, not credible. Who signed off on this? It doesn't kill the work. It slows its acceptance. It infects the collective lens so people squint at what's new until someone approved tells them it's safe to like it. But time has a habit of siding with results. Yesterday's amateur becomes tomorrow's pioneer after the risk is gone and the applause costs nothing. Here's the uncomfortable psychology. An autodidact's success exposes everyone else. It says, the gate was unlocked the whole time. Imagine watching someone stand up, shrug off the chains, and walk out of a prison you convinced yourself was inescapable. That image doesn't just challenge an institution. It challenges an identity built on obedient sacrifice. Easier to dismiss the escapee than admit the gate was open. And yet the solution isn't bitterness. It isn't declaring war on schools or diplomas. Some institutions train beautifully. Some teachers save lives. The point isn't to reject structure. It's to reject dependency. To stop outsourcing your curiosity to approval. To treat credentials as tools, not thrones. If a classroom accelerates you, take it. If it cages you, leave. The authority is not in the certificate. It's in your capacity to make, to test, to build, to serve, to ship. There's another layer to all this, and you can feel it already. The architecture of distraction. If your curiosity is dangerous to control, then the obvious defense is noise, endless noise. Notifications that pull, badges that bait, metrics that masquerade as meaning. Virtual applause to keep you from asking the question that would change your life. What do I need to learn next to build the thing I actually care about? The quickest way to neutralize an autodidact is not to block information, it's to drown it in candy. So here's a counter ritual. Turn the noise off. Give your mind the silence it needs to hear itself. Pick one problem that actually matters to you, one project that would improve your life or someone else's, and then apprentice yourself to it like a craftsperson. Curate your inputs. Study obsessively. Make small, honest things. Share them. Take the critique that helps. Ignore the chorus that demands a permission slip. Repeat. That's not rebellion for show. That's rebellion that ships. If you've been taught to think of yourself as unqualified, here's your reframe. You're unpermissioned. You don't need a hall pass to learn. You need a habit. You don't need a gatekeeper. You need a practice. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Today, while the world is still asking you to wait your turn. And if you want a single sentence to carry into the next part of this conversation, make it this. Don't worship the key. Study the door. The lock is usually a question. Curiosity picks it. Work turns the handle. Stay with me. Next, lift the floorboards and name the specific tactics used to marginalize self-taught minds and how you can move through them without becoming bitter, loud, or lost. Talk about narrative hijacking, credential theater, and the subtle social punishments designed to herd you back into line. More importantly, build the counter how to cultivate solitude without isolation, rigor without permission, and impact without applause. How control works and how you walk through it. Let's pull up the floorboards. If the first part showed you why systems flinch around self-taught minds, this part names the machinery, the levers, the curtains, the soft pressures that herd you back into the pen. Also lay out the counters, not slogans, but practices you can run tomorrow morning. First lever, credential theater. It's not education, it's optics. Piles of badges stacked like sandbags to hold the river of doubt at bay. The script goes like this. If a message arrives dressed in seals, accept it. If it arrives undressed, question it. You've seen the stagecraft panels where introductions are longer than the insights. Bios inflated like parade balloons. Logos slipped into every sentence as if truth needs a sponsor. Credential theater doesn't make ideas better. It makes audiences obedient. Your counter. Proof of work. Replace trust me with test this. Don't argue for your credibility. Demonstrate your repeatability. Publish your method. Show the messy drafts. Share the data set, the code, the protocol, the practice log. Let people rerun your steps. The quickest way to puncture theater is to make the audience curious. Curiosity is the solvent that melts pomp. Second lever, narrative hijacking. When a self-taught builder succeeds, the system tries to adopt the orphan. Actually, he was shaped by our culture. Museums will suddenly curate, universities will claim influence, gatekeepers will retell the origin so it fits the mythology of dependency. It's not always malicious. Sometimes it's just the gravity of institutions. Everything orbits the big names in the end. Your counter. Timestamp your truth. Keep a public lab notebook. Date your experiments. Open source the small things. Not because the world demands it, but because your future self will. Receipts matter not to win arguments, but to leave a trail for the next person who needs it. When biography laundering tries to fold you in, the record will be there, quiet, boring, undeniable. Third lever, ridicule as policy. No official edict, no blatant ban, just a steady drizzle of smirks. That's cute. Hes playing at it. She's passionate, but the ellipsis is the knife. It trains bystanders to laugh before they look. If they can make independent effort look naive, they never have to confront its results. Your counter, results with rhythm. Ship on a cadence so your work becomes the story, not the commentary around it. Weekly demo, monthly drop, quarterly review. Use time as your ally. Consistency is the antidote to condescension. It's difficult to mock what keeps showing up and getting better. Fourth lever, the expert moat. A specialized language that excludes citizens, not because the ideas require it, but because the moat justifies the castle. Jargon has its place, but watch when it becomes a smokescreen. If comprehension always requires a priest, you're in a cathedral, not a classroom. Your counter, translation as power. Learn the hard thing, then explain it in the simplest, faithful language you can manage, not watered down, faithfully plain. If you can teach it to a thoughtful 5-year-old without lying, you understand it. If others can't, perhaps they don't. Clarity is subversive in a culture that monetizes confusion. Fifth, lever, distraction, economics. Attention gets sliced into confetti so you can't maintain the long arc self-teaching requires. Infinite scroll, perpetual alerts, a buffet of learning that tastes like progress but digests like sugar. You leave full and hungry at the same time. Your counter, monastic sprints. Design small cloisters in your day. 90 minutes of airplane mode and a single problem on the table. No tabs breeding in the dark. A legal pad, a textbook, a tool, a prototype. Set a clock, close the door, and let boredom bite until curiosity wakes up and hunts. The compound interest on that ritual will make you unrecognizable in a year. Sixth lever, social penalties. The cost isn't jail, it's raised eyebrows. Friends who love the idea of your ambition more than the reality of your discipline. Colleagues who worry for you when what they mean is, don't leave the group. The penalty for difference is subtle exile. Your counter. Build a small council. Not cheerleaders, craftspeople. 2 or 3 peers who care about the thing more than the noise. Swap drafts, test assumptions, sharpen each other's edges. Keep the circle tiny and ruthless in kind. Autonomy doesn't mean isolation. It means choosing your influences like you choose your tools. Seventh lever, perfection as paralysis. Come back when it's flawless. That's how excellence gets weaponized to stop beginnings. They demand a masterpiece before they'll permit a sketch. Your counter, versioning, V0 to V1 to V2. Announce your expectations. This is a working paper. This is a prototype. This is a sketch to learn the constraints. When you label your stage, you protect your momentum. You make improvement the plot, not approval. Now, if those are the levers, let's stock your workshop the practices that make a self-taught mind durable. Practice 1. Build a backbone project. Not a vague learn more, but a specific artifact with a date, an app for your neighborhood. A short book that solves one real problem. A data set cleaned and documented for others to use. Projects create gravity. They pull in the right questions and repel the wrong distractions. Practice 2. Define your curriculum as a stack, not a syllabus. Foundational texts, timeless, current research, time-sensitive, and living mentors, conversations, not idols. For each layer, pick 3. Read and reread the foundations. Skim and sample the current. Schedule real contact with the living. No infinite lists. Narrow channels flow faster. Practice 3. Instrument your learning. Track inputs, hours studied, chapters digested, outputs, pages written, commits pushed, prototypes built, and outcomes, bugs fixed, users helped, dollars earned, lives improved. Numbers don't create meaning, but they reveal drift. If the dashboard goes quiet, you know you're back in the theater. Practice 4. Friction audits. Once a week, list the bottlenecks that actually slowed you down. Missing concept, tool you don't know, environment that keeps breaking, habit that leaks time. Address 1 friction per week. 30 friction fixes in a year is a different life. Practice 5. Feedback with filters. Invite critique from the right tier at the right time. Early. Ask for clarity. What's confusing? Middle. Ask for correctness. Where am I wrong? Late. Ask for craft. How can this sing? Most pain comes from asking late-stage questions at early stages or taking early-stage pot shots when you're ready to polish. Practice 6. Constraint games. Limitations are the mother tongue of creativity. Ship a 1,000-word essay with only 5 sources. Build a tool in 48 hours with no external libraries. Design a lesson for a beginner using metaphors from gardening only. Constraints force depth where abundance invites drift. Practice 7. Rituals for the mind. Reading is weightlifting. Writing is the sport. Pair them daily. Read something older than your country. Write something you can publish today. One feeds the roots, the other grows the branches. Without both, you end up either clever or loud, rarely useful. Practice 8. Apprenticeship without permission. Pick a living master of your craft. Reverse engineer one of their works quietly. Rebuild it from zero. Map the decisions. Annotate the trade-offs. You're not stealing, you're learning the grammar. Then write your own sentences. Practice 9. Public usefulness. Share tools, checklists, data sets, tiny apps, teaching threads. Be useful at a small scale, repeatedly. Usefulness is the only marketing an autodidact needs. People find the well that quenches their thirst. Practice 10. Ethical spine. Freedom without a compass degenerates into tricks. Decide your non-negotiables. No plagiarism, no fabricated claims, no harm for applause. Self-taught is not shortcut, it's self-responsible. Let's return to the psychology for a moment, because this is where many burn out. Autodidacts can harden into contempt if they're not careful, turning every classroom into an enemy, every teacher into a warden. That's just another cage, painted with your favorite colors. Refuse both cowers, the cower of permission and the cower of pride. Take what helps, discard what hinders, and stay teachable even when no one is teaching you. And what about the money question? The world still asks for diplomas at certain doors. Sometimes you'll hand one over because it saves time. Sometimes you'll build your own door. The pragmatic lens is this: does the credential accelerate the mission? If yes, use it as a tool. If not, stop renting it as an identity. Your portfolio, your shipped work, will open more rooms than a paragraph on a resume ever will. One last distinction before we step into the final part. Independence is not secrecy. The underground lab myth can flatter your ego and starve your growth. Secrecy breeds fragility. Share earlier than feels comfortable, just not with everyone. Find the right 5. They'll save you years. In the final part, we're going to map the architecture of digital obedience, how screens, metrics, and engineered novelty keep your intellect on a leash, and then wire the antidote, a personal operating system for learning without permission. Not romance, not rebellion as branding, but a clear cadence you can run for the next decade. If part 1 gave you permission and part 2 gave you counters, the blueprint, an operating system for unpermissioned learning. We've named the tremor, we've mapped the levers. Now we build the machine you'll run when the noise tries to reclaim you. Think of this as a field manual for a decade of self-teaching, a cadence sturdy enough to carry you through seasons, distractions, and the sneer of spectators. No mystique, no manifesto cosplay, just an operating system. First, diagnose the leash. Digital obedience. It's not only about doom scrolling, It's the slow domestication of your attention by metrics and novelty. Algorithms train you to chase spikes instead of depth. They reward frequency over fidelity, reaction over reflection. The dashboard becomes your dopamine dealer, and before long, you're editing yourself for likes, not for truth. That's how free minds are corralled one notification at a time. Antidote, design for depth, then layer distribution. Depth comes first, always. Distribution serves it, never replaces it. You are not a content machine. You are a craftsperson who publishes. That single inversion protects your soul and improves your work. Here is the blueprint, 12 components you can start tomorrow. Adjust the names, but keep the bones. North Star Statement, NSS. One sentence, present tense, consequence focused. I build tools and texts that make complex ideas usable for busy people. Tape it above your desk. Use it to filter opportunities. If it doesn't serve the NSS, it's theater. Quarterly question. Each quarter gets exactly one primary question to answer with a shippable artifact. Can I teach X to a beginner in 90 minutes? Can I build a working prototype that solves Y? Questions anchor curiosity. Artifacts anchor progress. Backbone project. Tie the quarterly question to a concrete deliverable. A mini course, a data set, a working app, a white paper with a demo. Put a public due date on it. Private goals drift. Public milestones harden. Monastic blocks. MB 90. 90-minute deep work blocks. Twice a day, 5 days a week. Airplane mode. Single task. Visible timer. One block feeds learning, input. The other feeds building, output. Schedule them like meetings with a version of you that pays your bills. Reading stack. 3 shelves. Timeless, 2 books. Timely, 2 papers. Resources. Tactical, 1 manual. Tool doc. Every month, swap only 1 item per shelf. Stability prevents shiny object amnesia. Rotation keeps you current. Working glossary. As you learn, define terms in your own language. 1 paragraph per term. If your glossary grows, your understanding grows. If it stalls, you're skimming. Keep it in a visible doc. Link it from your notes. Proof of work log, AIWL. Daily record. Time spent, problem tackled, micro results shipped. Screenshots, commits, paragraphs, diagrams. Not for social, this is your black box recorder. When doubt visits, and it will, the POWL is your receipt. Constraint sprints. Weekly 2-hour challenge with a rule that pinches. Solve with no external libraries. Explain to a 1-5-year-old. Sketch in 10 slides. Constraints mine depth from ordinary stone. Small council. 3 people max. Monthly 2-hour session. 30 minutes each on what you built. Where you're stuck. What's next? Rules. Brutal about the work. Gentle with the person. Specific always. Rotate who leads. The council keeps you honest without caging you. Cadence to ship. Pick one. Weekly demo thread. Bi-weekly tutorial. Monthly release. Your cadence is a metronome for the world and for your courage. Ship consistently enough that showing your work becomes identity, not stunt. Feedback filters. Early phase asks clarity. Mid-phase asks correctness. Late phase asks craft. Ask the wrong question at the wrong time and you'll demoralize yourself into silence. Put the phase in the title. Prototype clarity only. Ethical guardrails. Write them down. No plagiarism. Cite sources. Tell the limits of your claims. Harm no audience for applause. Freedom grows fangs without a spine. Your future self will thank you. Now let's wire the day so the blueprint runs without argument. Morning. Protect curiosity. No phone for the first hour. Move your body, then MB. 90. Input. Read, annotate, or practice a skill. End with a 5-bullet note. What did I learn? What did I not understand? What will I attack next? Midday. Craft. MB. 90. Output. Build, write, code, design. Closed loops. Ship something tiny if the big thing resists. Afternoon. Logistics and distribution. Answer. Mail. Post your demo if it's ship day. Schedule your council. Do a friction audit. Name the constraint that slowed you and choose one fix for tomorrow. Evening. Synthesis. 10-minute POWL entry. 1-note reflection. one sentence of gratitude specific to the craft. Then unplug with something older than the internet. A walk, an instrument, a printed book. Sleep is a tool. Guard it. What about niche? Here's the paradox. Most people try to pick a niche first and then learn inside it. Autodidacts learn until the edges of their interest reveal the niche. Depth breeds differentiation. Let the work select the doorway. On resistance. You will encounter ridicule, silence, envy, disguised as advice. Don't argue with it, convert it. Every criticism becomes a test you run, a spec you improve, a doc you write, a tutorial you publish. Alchemy for adults. Contempt into competence quickly. On money. Build the triangle. Product, patron, platform. Product is what you sell: books, apps, courses, consulting. Patron is a few humans or orgs who pay for continuity retainers, memberships, grants. Platform is where you earn trust at scale by being useful for free public demos, teaching, tools. Start with platform only and you'll starve. Start with product only and you'll hide. Start with patron only and you'll bend. Blend all three and you'll breathe. On comparison. Metrics are mirages if they're not aligned to mission. Measure what compounds. Time in MB90. Versions shipped, users helped, problems solved, citations earned, letters of thanks, bugs fixed, apprentices grown. Your attention follows your scoreboard. Choose it with suspicion. On identity. Beware two traps. Am nothing without credentials and am superior because I don't have them. Both are costumes. Your credential is your contribution. Your title is your trail. Let's preempt the relapse. The day will come when you miss a week. The world will get loud. Shame will suggest quitting because the streak is broken. Build the rule of two. Never miss twice. When you slip, re-enter the system within 24 hours with the smallest possible action. 10 lines, 1 paragraph, 1 sketch. Momentum is a muscle. The rule of two keeps blood in it. A word on teachers. You will still need them, but choose them like you choose chisels. A good teacher accelerates your autonomy. A bad one rents it. When you find a good one, pay them, honor them, and then outgrow them without drama. That's the point. A word on solitude. Don't confuse it with secrecy. Share early with the council. Ship often to the public. Keep a sanctuary in between where ideas can breathe without spectacle. That ecology, private, semi-private, public, keeps your work alive. Finally, the vow. Not to a tribe, not against a system, but to your practice. I will study before I publish. I will publish before I feel ready. I will revise before I defend. I will help before I harvest. I will endure before I demand. Because here's the uncynical truth. When you live this way long enough, institutions stop looking like towers to storm and start looking like tool sheds, useful sometimes, not sacred. You'll collaborate without kneeling. You'll learn without waiting. You'll teach without gatekeeping. And the room will tremble not because you're loud, but because you're free. If you want to signal to yourself and to anyone listening that you're done asking for permission, write the sentence that began this whole journey in the comments and in your notebook, and on the first page of your next project, I think without permission. That's not a slogan. It's a schedule. Now go run it.